I worked for only that year, and then the next year I worked down here for John Brown until spring came and the grass turned green.
John Brown was he's another sheep
He was
too,
from
wasn't
Bellevue, and he lambed on the river. But
he? Down on the where Hoggrick's lived.
yeah, when he had all the big sheds there.
Yeah.
But when it started to the desert, he wouldn't let me go. He said I was too young to be a sheep herder. So I see Ole, and he said, well, you can pull camp for me. So
Yeah.
I pulled camp for Morse and Ray Grant. He had two bunches. He had
Yeah.
the single,
He was the other
one
herder,
bunch,
Ray Grant was
twins
that other
together.
herder? So was that 1938?
That was 1938.
Okay.
And we went out on the desert there, and I'll never forget, he didn't have an extra saddle horse, so he said, Jody Johnson owes me some money, he's got a Mustang. So we come downtown here where Clifford Connor lives now,
Yeah.
and that Mustang was in a corral there. And we get the Mustang caught. I'll never forget this. This is quite an experience for a 15-year-old kid. Of course, I was just like any kid, didn't give a damn. So we get the Mustang saddled up, and I get on, and thank goodness she didn't buck. I headed up for home, and I stopped out there. At that time, we were living on the Markdale place. I stayed all night. So the next morning, I get on the Mustang, and she was soured up. She didn't want to go, and Dad took a big board and cracked her on the back. Away I went. And the camp was out there about 2 miles in the desert, out by the big rim rock. And I got about 200 yards from that camp, and that's as close as she'd go. I could not coax her, whip her, beat her, or get her any closer. She looked at that camp wagon, she froze. Had a big long lead rope, so I got off and I wound around a couple of big green sagebrushes and tied her down solid. I went and hooked old Dutch and Babe up. That was my camp team.
Yeah.
And hooked on the commissary wagon. Went down there and backed up to the Mustang. She's throwing a fit. Got her tied onto the back of the wagon, dragged her to camp. It was about a week before she decided that camp wouldn't get her, that canvas and that. She'd ride around good enough. So happened I'm riding this Mustang, and I run into Dick out there. He was working for Kilpatrick.
Oh, yeah.
So we're riding along visiting, and I spit, and it blew on that Mustang's neck, and I reached down to rub it off, and she started bucking. I'll never forget that. She didn't buck me off. She wasn't too awful hard to ride. I had a good saddle. She bucked a big circle, and she got her head over Dick's horse's neck, and that's what she'd do every time she bucked. She'd jump on the other horse, get close. Well, finally she quit and got her pulled up, and Dick said, I'll never forget, he said, get off from her, and I'll take my gun and kill her. He said that's all she's good for. But anyway, and they got full of booze, and we lost 125 head of sheep. Anyway, we went on, and we went over the summit and dropped down on Pole Creek. And where we come down at that time, now they've made that ranger station a historical mark.
Let's see, Pole Creek where is that now?
It's on the other side of Galena Summit. While we were there, Bacon's foreman caught up to us and said, we got a whole bunch of your sheep.
That's 125 head or whatever it was?
Yeah. So when we get over the top of Bull Creek to that corral there, we'll sort them out. So we laid off up there a little ways until they came. And I remember when Morse and I went down to the corral, why, I was riding this Mustang. And Morse was riding old Crappie. Did you remember him?
No.
The old horse, the old white horse his ear froze off. And she was coasting along there, and Morse said, you know, he said, when you quit, he said, I think I'll start riding her. He said, she was about the nicest little thing, and I knew quite a bit about her, but anyway, we were riding along, and she was walking off, leaving old Crappie, and Morse had a big long lead rope, so he gave old Crappie a whap. That spooked the Mustang. She started bucking, and invariably she'd buck into the other horse, and she bucked a big circle. She'd come back, and she got her head over behind Morse's saddle. And she's lunging and bawling and a bucking, and Morse is beating her over the head with his lead rope. Well, he got her pulled off from him. I got her pulled up, and I said, Uncle Maury, if you want this horse, now's the time to trade. I'll never forget what he said. He says, when you leave, I take the gun and kill that son of a bitch. Oh, she done that once to Ray Grant. I was down on the desert, and Ray, it was pretty cold, and he had a fire going, and I rode out where he was, and you could just get off her and take your bridle off and hang it on the horn. She'd just eat right close to you.
No problem.
She wouldn't leave you. And he was telling how nice she was, and thought he'd like to ride her. So I put the bridle back on her and got on her. I don't know what happened. She got to bucking and chased him all around. When I got her stopped, I told him the same thing. I told Morse, if you want her, Ray, now, no way. He says,